Here we are, it is 8:10 on a Wednesday edition of the program, and my pleasure to welcome in studio Adrienne Polis, who is a volunteer with Interfaith-Good Samaritan here, a local nonprofit financial and food assistance group, and then also Pastor Jeff Lundblad. Oh goodness, Jeff's going to have to remind me here, is it
First Baptist.
First Baptist, okay, thank you. I could picture Baptist, and I couldn't picture the rest of it here in my mind, so thank you so much for coming in. I talked with Mike Vercotter, he's the Interfaith Director. He was excited when he called me last week. He said, hey, is there any way we can get you? I said, absolutely, bring him in. And I said, but there's only one caveat. I'm taking a couple days off next week. So I appreciate you guys coming in this morning. Adrienne, fill me in on what's going on, because I know Mike was very excited about this. I know that Interfaith, you guys do a lot of food distribution. And I've talked with Mike on the show a couple times now, and we're trying to get Thanksgiving meals out to folks, and it sounds like we're trying to get over 300 families served in this community in the county. Tell me a little bit about how this is going and how, because Mike was really excited about a lot of folks in the community, a lot of resources come together on this. So maybe you can explain a little bit more, Adrienne.
Well, up until the last few years, we would, not the Interfaith, but the schools would have a program where they, for people whose kids are in the schools, and so last year, maybe the year before, but I know definitely last year, we expanded that to anybody in the community that needed help. And last year we did about 300 meals at Thanksgiving and about another 300 meals at Christmas. So this year we started, and we already have 200 applications. People fill out an application, okay. And they tell us how many people in their family, and now this year we're asking, do you need it delivered to you? Because that was a problem last year. People could not get in to pick it up, or can you come to pick it up? And so we're having a food drive on the 11th to help bring in food for this, and we still need a few volunteers if you want to come help man a door at one of the grocery stores. Or if you're going to come on Sunday, I know it's a football Sunday, come on in and buy something. And if I had to guess what would be the most important thing, the thing we need the most, okay, are turkeys.
All right.
You know, we have a lot of canned goods, and we need turkeys. But there are a couple little tricks to this, because like Safeway, you can give money at Safeway, and that money, they have $5, $10, and $15 little, I don't know what they call them, but they're little coupons, and that goes to already prepared meals.
Oh, okay.
And so on the day of our food distribution, which is Saturday, the 18th.
17th,
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
17th. We, besides picking up frozen turkeys from the different places, we can get some prepared meals. We get prepared turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, and stuffing, and then we fill in the rest of the goodies like we do for all the other boxes.
Okay.
And we're doing this out of First Baptist Church, and I'm going to let Jeff kind of talk about that, because he's stepped up a lot with his facilities this past year.
And I'm only cheating on Adrienne with the date because I have a big calendar in the background. So, Jeff, how did you get involved? And talk a little bit about what Adrienne was talking about here.
There's actually a longer history that Adrienne probably doesn't know behind all of this. Maybe she does.
No.
But back when I first came as pastor here to Laramie, when I started talking to my congregation, we were in a point where we were saying, listen, philosophically, church has always done this. They said, hey, we're going to build something, we're going to start a program, and then God bless this program and send people to it. And we started asking the question, is that the right way to do things?
Okay.
So we said, what if we instead go out and we start listening in the community to hear what God's doing, and then say, okay, God, help us join you. And so we were doing this, and one of the things we kept hearing in conversations with people in the community was how much they had missed the community holiday program. Now, community holidays had shut down apparently 2 years before I came here, and they had been doing the meal distribution before that. They had also been doing the Christmas presents and things like that. And so we said, listen, we don't feel like we have the resources as a church to do the food component, but we can do the Christmas present component. So we started organizing the community holiday program and started working with the Ministerial Association to pull in other churches and volunteers, the social work club at UW. Well, that still left the food not being done. And that's the part that Adrienne picked up. And so when we were talking with Mike, and we have a big building. We have a really big building. And so I think, this is my own personal theology, but I think God abhors waste. And we have a lot of space that goes wasted in our big building. And so I said, Mike, listen, anything I can do to help, even if it's just storing stuff, let me know. And we're one of the few places that have a decent sized parking lot in town.
That's true.
So
I know exactly where you are. So.
so for pickup and delivery and things like that, we have this really nice large parking lot, a large fellowship hall. And so for us, this is just a natural way of putting our building, which is just one of our assets, to work for the community. And we want to do that as much as we can.
So we're doing a food drive this coming Sunday, folks, on the 11th. And if you can help out, where do I drop off? Is it going to be at the grocery stores,
Yes.
Agent? Okay.
How this is working, it starts at 8 o'clock and it runs till 5.
Okay.
We'll have people at each door of the 3 major grocery stores. We've got Wrigley's, Safeway, and Walmart.
Okay.
They'll have little handouts that list what is it that we could use. And then when people come out, if they've decided they wanted to buy something, we'll have grocery carts there for people to put their food in. And sometimes people like to give a cash donation instead, which is great, because when we get right down to the wire, we say, hey, we still need 20 turkeys, we can go out and buy some turkeys.
Gotcha.
So that's great. And I'm going to talk about the 17th and tell you about that. And then I'm going to give a shout out to all our volunteers and the different groups who are helping us. So on the 17th, we're going to be picking up the frozen turkeys and the prepared meals from the grocery stores, bringing them over to First Baptist, where we have been stockpiling and continue to stockpile food, canned goods, all the goodies that you need to put together a traditional Thanksgiving meal. And then starting at noon, people will come to First Baptist and they will be able to pick up the meals, the meal baskets we call them, and we'll also be delivering.
They can also drop off food. They can also drop off food at the church if they want to donate it there every day between 9 and 1.
Right.
And that's at nearly the top of the hill there on 15th Street.
Yep.
So I think your technical address is Canby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's basically right there at the top of the hill.
I would say 15th Street. We'll just
Yeah.
go down 15th Street till we find it. There we go. I wanted to talk about the whole community is behind this. Now, Interfaith is just acting as the coordinator between this, but we have the Ministerial Association, we have students and faculty from the university, we have classes that are doing it as a project, we have sororities and fraternities, we have ROTC, all of these people are helping, and then the general public, just I get emails, I get a phone call saying, hey, I deliver Meals on Wheels, I can help you deliver food for this. And so it's been great. The last date to have an application in to request a meal is Friday. So at the end of Friday, we can't take any more. The applications are at the schools, so if someone has a kid in school, they can contact them. And we have the applications at our Interfaith at the food bank and up in the office, and both of those are at the Civic Center.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Well, and Mike was really excited, and maybe you can speak more about just the way the community is coming together with all these different organizations. You named off a bunch of folks that are involved. He was really excited to see how this has really grown and come together, and so much of the helping hand, Adrienne.
I forgot to talk about the Farm Bureau, and that would be just awful. I feel like Academy Awards and I forgot to talk about somebody.
You're not getting cut off on this one though.
I'm telling you, The Farm Bureau has really stepped up. They were one of the first ones to contact me, and individuals from them have come in. Not only are they helping with the distribution on the 17th, but they're saving boxes for us, so because we need boxes, and helping with the food drive. So they have been really great.
So again, application deadline in 2 days on Friday the 9th. You can pick them up at the schools or at the Interfaith office. They're in the Civic Center, 17 Garfield. You guys are in 127, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Call the Interfaith office, 742-4240 if you need more. Jeff, I'm curious. I want to talk to you real quick about, and Adrienne brought up the Ministerial Association and just how you guys, what have you seen? I mean, obviously you mentioned you got space and a parking lot and all that stuff, but how have you seen this kind of spread throughout the Ministerial Association and just the churches in the community?
You know, when I first came here as a pastor, there really wasn't a Ministerial Association. And Stephen Askew and I and a few others at the different churches here in town started talking about the real need for that. And as we started talking about it, we realized that we were all going to the same meetings, like the Homelessness Task Force Coalition
Gotcha.
and all of these things. We said, listen, let's just have one meeting for all of us in the faith community. And it has really turned in not just the Ministerial Association, a place where we can go together and commiserate about what's going on, but it's really become an idea forum for community assistance. So we have, you know, we talk about, you know, the food drive here, and so, you know, we're all collecting now within our congregations and dropping those things off. But it also pours into things like the community holiday program. And at homecoming, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we decided to walk as a group during the homecoming parade, talking about the fact that, listen, when it comes to theology, we have a lot of things we disagree about.
Okay.
But the reality is that unity means you have to have diversity. You have to have people who don't see things the same way in order for unity to come together. Otherwise, you just have conformity, and conformity is kind of boring. We have a lot of love and respect for each other, I think it shows up in our community as well. I mean, we have a lot of people who will come together, and so like when I started the community, when my church started working on community holidays, you know, we reached out, and St. Matt's Episcopal right away, I mean, they had people that jumped on it, and then the UCC church and the Unitarian church, and you know, we saw the same thing with Family Promise of Albany County, where we've got a homelessness solution now, which, you know, most people aren't aware, but up until a couple of years ago, if someone was homeless in Laramie, we had a really simple solution: a bus ticket. And I had friends from Colorado approach me at ecumenical gatherings and say, we hear that Laramie is shipping us their homeless. Is this true? And I would have to say yes. Yeah. And yet, when the faith community starts working together, we can do some really amazing things. And people are resistant sometimes to church and to God. I get that. Usually when they describe the God that they're resistant to, I tend to say I don't believe in that God either. So, you know, we find that we have more in common than we disagree about.
Well, and you know, to kind of back up the point both of you are making, there's more of a need here in the community, in the county, than some of us realize. And it is growing. But you guys, I'm very impressed in what this community does and the reaction to it, and just the way people do come together in this town. And you've been a part of this for a while.
I've been volunteering about 2 years at Interfaith, and up until then, I was not aware of the need in this community. Albany County is the poorest county in the state. I didn't know that. That shocked me. And what I've seen is that the need is still continuing. And growing.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen when we're done with our Thanksgiving meal project? Well, we're going to have leftovers. And so what we do, because we're going to do this again in another month.
Yeah.
We do it for Christmas, and I don't have that date on my head, but I think it's like the 11th or 12th. It's the Friday that they're the last day of school for the Albany County School District.
I think it's the 21st. Because
Could
I
be.
think they're going all the way through the 21st. I got 2 kids in the district.
Yeah, so anyway, but anyway, we're going to use our leftovers, and we'll have leftover canned goods. We might even have some leftover turkeys, because we usually, the last day, we get an avalanche of frozen turkeys. It's really, it's a little daunting, and so we have places to store them, and we get ready again for the December. And about turkeys, let's talk turkey.
Turkey.
Okay.
All right.
All
here we
right.
go.
So when you're out shopping and you say, "Oh, I could get another turkey." Oh, look, they've got one of those buy one get one for $5.
All right.
The grocery stores will hold those for you. You don't have to take them home
Oh,
and
okay.
store them. So after you buy them, you go back and talk to the meat department, and they have, the huge freezers, and they will hold them, because on the day of the food drive, we'll come pick them up. Now, at Safeway, they have a program where if you buy $100 worth of groceries, I think you get a free turkey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or a very reduced price turkey.
Turkey. Okay.
But the turkey that you're getting it's not part of that 100. So you have to buy $100 worth of groceries, and then you get the special on the turkey.
Gotcha.
And then you can take that turkey back to so
All right.
that really helped.
All right, so application deadline is this Friday for those folks that are in need. If you're out there in the listening audience, or you can spread the word to folks that you do know. Then the food drive Sunday, and then distribution is coming up on Saturday the 17th. So all this is happening here in the next 10 days, folks. And so we're trying to get the word out quickly. Questions, contact Interfaith office. 742-4240 is a good phone number. Again, 742-4240. Applications, again, are at the schools in the district, or you can stop by the Interfaith office there at the Civic Center, 710 Garfield. 127 is the room they're in. Anything else before I let you two go this morning?
Okay. If you want to help with this project, you can participate in the food drive. Give us some canned goods or a turkey, or I still have some doors that need people to be at.
All right. Appreciate you two coming in. Great. Thank you so much for helping what you guys do, and we hope this meets a lot of family needs coming up this Thanksgiving holiday. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks.